Hello everyone, my name is Martin Linksfeld and welcome to the sixth lesson of the course. In this lesson, we will delve into the creation of a MySQL Database Service, MDS, in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure with a replication channel using OCI MDS channel feature and a Terraform module alongside deploying the WordPress CMS. Our focus will be on setting up a cross-regional replication channel connecting the source MySQL Database Service in the first region to the target MDS in the second region. This target MDS was created from a cross-regional backup in the previous lesson. By the end of this lesson, you will learn how to replicate the database across regions, establishing a new production environment and enhancing disaster recovery and a business continuity. Let's get started. Here's the topology diagram of this lesson. As you can see, we still have two regions, the source region, region 1, and the target region, region 2. And as in the previous lesson, we will first create a manual backup, then we will copy this backup into the second region, the target region, and then we will instantiate MDS, right, in a second region. Then we will set up the replication channel between the source and the target MDS instances. So ultimately, we will just replicate the source into target, and then we will be able to instantiate the WordPress server in a second region with all of the changes done on the source, which has been replicated into the target location. Okay, now let's move to our code review to VS Code Editor, and we will jump into the details of our code. I'm now again in a code editor in VS Code, and this is the place where we have just finished lesson number 5. So let us move to lesson number 6, which is here. Let me switch the lesson here in a terminal as well. So in case of the code and things which have changed in this lesson, first of all, I would like to start with drgs_new. This is completely new file. And as you can see, there is a list of resources which will be built only if this flag named MDS channel enabled will be turned to true. It starts with drg1 dynamic routing gateway resource, which will be attached to our initial VCN in the first region. For this particular DRG, we have also RPC resource, remote peering connection. And this remote peering connection connected to the first DRG in our first region will be interconnected with DRG and RPC on the other side in a second region. As you can see, we have another side, which is DRG2, so region number 2, and we have also corresponding attachment to VCN2, which will be explained soon. And this will be deployed in region number 2, RPC2 as well in region number 2, interconnected with DRG2, right? So this file, will configure for us conditionally based on this variable MDS channel enabled the connection between two regions and two VCNs. Okay, that's one thing. Next, we have updated network underscore tf updated .tf file, right? This is well-known file with first VCN with internet gateway, NAT gateway, and route table. And this route table will have additional entry, right? This route table will have dynamic entry, again, conditional based on this MDS channel variable, and this entry will tell route table to push the traffic, into this into the DRG, right, to another site, to another region. And that is all what we have, generally speaking, here in this particular file. The only thing which can be found here is also for private route table, right? So traffic between two MDS instances will go through this route table, through this entry which is here. Okay, that's one thing. Next, we have a network2 underscore new file. So this one will create a VCN number 2 in region 2, right? It will create internet gateway number 2, NAT gateway number 2, and corresponding route tables for public subnet with dynamic statement, route rules. So it will push the traffic into DRG and will connect public exposed resources such as WordPress with corresponding structure on the other side in another region. The same principle for private subnet. So private subnet route table 2, again, dynamic block, route rules, conditional here, MDS channel enabled, set to true, then it will create this content, right? So we will interconnect and we'll pass the traffic from VCN2 into VCN1 through the p-ring. So that is a networking changes you will have, but you will also have changes around MDS itself, right? So we have MDS underscore updated.tf file, and besides of the source database, which is already well known by us, right? So we will create this primary, let's say, source database in the region number 1 in our private subnet, which is in first VCN. We will have, okay, as previously, some sort of a backup, right? So this backup will be created in another region, right? So it will create a copy cross-regionally delivered, right? This will create MDS target clone from this backup. This is well known from the previous lesson. And then we have something completely new. So this invocation of the module will create things on the source, right? Meaning dedicated user with username and password necessary for the replication, right? Because we need to, run some sort of a script, we will have to go through the Bastion host, which in our case will be our WordPress instance, VM instance, exposed to public internet. So it will be used as a jump host, right? And this invocation of the module will prepare, it will create some sort of a groundwork for setting up replication, which is essentially a technology for MDS channel, right? Okay, now we have yet another invocation of MDS module where we will set up the channel, right? That's why we have this MDS underscore channel enabled flag here. So initially, this resource, this module won't be invoked. And this module is setting up, source, right? And it will be our source database, right? it will be instructed to use the replication user and replication user password on the source, right? On the other hand, we will confirm here what is the target. The target is our clone created in a second region, right? So it will deliver information from the source into the target through the pipe between through this peering which we have created in a networking, right? So we will interconnect two uh, different MDSs in two different regions. Okay, that is mostly all. Important thing here, at the very end, after replicating things from source to the target, we will finally instantiate the WordPress, yet another one in a second region. This first one is already here. We already done it in a previous lesson, but in this lesson, in the region number 2, we will instantiate, we will create a copy of the WordPress, right? And this WordPress will use our let's say replicated clone as a database, as a MDS to store data. So in fact, all of the changes done on the source database on this primary MySQL instance, we will change some pages, we'll introduce some data into the WordPress initial instance, and those changes will be replicated to another region. And then when WordPress, the second WordPress will be instantiated, it will have all those changes already onboarded, right? So it's a kind of a disaster recovery scenario, or way to clone our systems into another region where we can potentially do some testing, etc., etc. Okay, that is all what I would like to explain from the perspective of the code. And now let me just run in this lesson 6 Terraform init, just to prepare configuration. It will take a few seconds, and after that I will show you yet another thing, which is a Terraform TF vars file. So in case of this lesson, our Terraform TF vars file is slightly different. So those three things, you have already seen in a previous lesson, right? So we will take a manual backup, then we will copy this backup into another region, and then we will create a clone, right, from this backup. But then we will have three other steps, right? We will set up the replication user on the source by changing this flag to true. Then we will create a channel, we'll enable the channel. And after all of those changes, we will instantiate WordPress in the region number 2, right? So that is our goal here. So let me run Terraform apply just to see how many steps we will have in this exercise. I feel it will be a lot. So yeah, 32. Okay, so let me run yes. And we will pause the recording for a while and we'll wait for all those elements to be set up, right? Okay, let me pause the recording now. As you can see, Terraform apply is finished. We have 32 resources added, a lot of outputs, including the link to our WordPress. Before we go there, let me just check the resources in a console, right? We are in a in the first region, Frankfurt. So we will go to databases, and here we can see our source MDS with the backup, which has been created by us. But also on the other side, in Amsterdam, we have this cross-regional backup, which has been created. And based on that backup, we have created a clone, right? So we have now source in Frankfurt and target in Amsterdam. All of that is nested in VCNs. This is the second VCN in Amsterdam, but we have identical or nearly identical VCN in Frankfurt, right? So as you remember, we have private and public subnet. For private subnet, we have MDS. For public subnet, we have compute instance exposed to public internet, right? So this is our first WordPress. So we can go there and we can access WordPress admin website. I have already logged in. So this is our WordPress, okay? On the primary site, let's say in Frankfurt. And now we will return back to our code and we will enable the replication user on the source. So let me turn this into true and I will save it and I will run Terraform apply again. And within a sec, we should see the plan and new things to be created. So you see, it will be a null resource. So remote exec running MySQL shell on the source via Bastion to set up replication user in our Frankfurt located source MDS. And this code is executed. As you can see, it has created replication user, and it has granted replication slave, right? So command. So now we have everything on the source according to our expectations. And now we will enable the channel, right? So we will kick off the replication from the source to the target. Let me run Terraform apply just to see the plan. So what we have here. First of all, those changes necessary for the network, right? You remember MDS channel enabled, that was the flag to conditionally change the networking, right? So as you can see, we have some configurations pushing the traffic through DRGs, right? Through RPCs and DRGs, and the peering connection will be established. Besides of that, at the very end, we will have OCI MySQL channel resource, which will establish the connection between the source, which is our Frankfurt located MDS, and our target, which is essentially our MySQL database system in Amsterdam, right? So let me run ES here, and we'll have to wait some time. So I will pause the recording now, okay? As you can see, Terraform apply is finished, 7 resources added. So Let's verify first what has been added from the networking perspective. We are in the Frankfurt, so there is a peering, which is interconnected with dynamic routing gateway. So this is our dynamic routing gateway number one. And we can see here the attachment to our VCN. And there is also attachment to remote RPC, right? Remote peering connection, which is peered, right? So let us switch from DRG number one to DRG number two in Amsterdam. So this is our DRG in Amsterdam. And this DRG is interconnected with local VCN2 in Amsterdam. From the perspective of route tables, as I have mentioned, what is super important for us, we have this private subnet number two, and there is a route table with additional, and with an additional route going through DRG to Frankfurt, right? The same thing from the perspective of Frankfurt, we can see here. Of course, we need to go to the networking. Okay, retry. Sometimes this kind of a problem happens. So it shouldn't be any problem, but it is what it is. So let's reload the page. And for the private subnet, we have route table. And for reaching out the CIDR of Amsterdam, we need to go through the RG1, right? So we have connection, in both directions. So another thing which has been created is around database, right? So let us switch to Amsterdam again. And I will go to our DB system, the secondary, this clone, which has been created here. And here under channel, we should see new thing, new channel, right? MDS channel. If we click, we can see the configuration. So here is our source host, which is essentially our Frankfurt located MDS DB system. And here is our clone, right, as a target DB system. So now this channel is active. Sometimes you need to, after setup, you need to kick it off. That's why I had to click on resume the channel. So now it is in green, so the replication is happening on the fly. So it means what I can do here in the source system. So let me just change few things, expecting them to be replicated to another side in uh, Amsterdam, right? So first of all, I will change the team. Let's say I'll choose this one, and I will activate it. So now I'm assuming if we try to access the web page, it will pop up here. Super. Next, I will change this hello world somehow. So go to quickly hello world, changing on, maybe not in the title, in a Slack. Okay, let's do it in a title. Changed on the source update. So if we reload it here in Frankfurt, this title is different. Last but not least, we will also update it to the version 6.7.1. So let us do it. Update. No, maybe we'll do it later. Okay, let us do it. In fact, this is a thing I have never tried before. Okay, so it looks like done. Yeah, 671, super. All those changes I'm expecting should be replicated to another site. How to check it? Of course, I can connect to Amsterdam located database. That's one option, but let's just instantiate the WordPress on top of this cloned database in Amsterdam. That's why I will turn this to true, this clone to true. I will save it and I will run Terraform apply. And I'm expecting to have a new WordPress server in Amsterdam exposing updated database, right? With all those changes we have clicked in Frankfurt. I'm super curious if this will work. Let me pause the recording for now. Okay, looks like the Terraform is finished. 4 resources added. The second WordPress has been established. So now we have 2 links. Let me just take this one and verify it. So we are now in Amsterdam. Just to confirm that, I will go to compute instances. And as you can see, we are in Amsterdam. So this is our public IP address. And as you can see, it is visible here. So for sure, things have been replicated because I can see this changed on the source new title. If we try to go to our WordPress admin, there is a problem. So I think my experiment to run update of the database on the source during the replication probably was not the best one. But as I have told you, the content of the database have been replicated for sure, because as you can see here, we have a change title. So that is expected result. So from that standpoint, we have just proven that the replication is really working. Maybe for WordPress, we need to be a little bit more cautious. We shouldn't run, updates on the source. I think it was disaster. It was kind of a disaster here, and uh, this is something we need to avoid in a reality, right? And in fact, we are just replicating the original system into another location, maybe for testing the upgrade in the second location rather than on the primary side, right? So that was maybe not a good idea. Anyhow, we have just proven that the replication works. And now we will trigger Terraform destroy, expecting to destroy all of the elements on the primary side and secondary side, right, on the source and in the target location, meaning Frankfurt and Amsterdam will be destroyed, right? So we are expecting to see a lot of resources to be destroyed, right? Okay, let's wait. And I will be back after this process will be finished. As you can see, destroy is complete, so we can verify that. Let's start with DB system on the source, deleted, backup deleted. In Amsterdam, probably the same, backup, cross-regional backup deleted. DB system deleted, channel deleted as well. So the database system level is done. What about compute instances? So in Amsterdam, WordPress Amsterdam located terminated. The same for Frankfurt, I guess. Yes, terminated as well. And networking, right? So we shouldn't have, yeah, that's another VCN for different purpose. So our MDS VCN has been deleted in Amsterdam as well. So that showcased that we have just, let's say, deleted all of the components. And that concludes lesson number 6. I hope it was useful for you. And now we will move to lesson number 7, where we will set up high availability MDS with high availability WordPress. Yeah, it will be probably super interesting for you. That's it. Thank you and see you soon.